essentially, there's 3 types of pigment, and I'm going to tell you why it's really important in a minute. So one is what we call epidermal pigment.
Right.
One is dermal pigment. And another one is what we refer to as mixed. Now, you could have, and by the way, you can tell the difference under a Woods lamp. So a Woods lamp, guys, is kind of like, you know, an old black light, but you can use them to sort of, for a diagnostic tool. So I could have 2 spots of pigment on my face that look exactly the same on the surface. Now, under the Woods lamp, if one shows up, that's going to be epidermal.
Good.
If one doesn't show up, it's dermal. And mixed is a combination of these 2. Now, here's the good news. Most people have more epidermal pigment. But
oh, that's good.
Can be either epidermal or dermal. For example, melasma. People will say, oh, gee, is melasma epidermal or dermal? It can be either one. Plasma, either one. Solar Tigenes, either one. So the reason why it's important to know is because I want to be very transparent about how you can realistically get to a solution.
Okay.
Now, when pigment is produced, what determines how much pigment you're going to produce and whether it's thrown off to the surface abnormally or you have a lot more pigment than you want is something called active tyrosinase. So remember, active tyrosinase. So if you didn't produce any active tyrosinase, you'd be an albino.
Right.
And when you're producing more active tyrosinase, you're throwing off more pigment.
Right.
So hormones can play a role, but essentially it's going to be UV light. Now, in order to address pigment, in order to make it less, even it out, we have to be able to address active tyrosinase. We have to do that topically. Active tyrosinase is only found in the epidermis. So if somebody has dermal pigment, it's like trying to remove a tattoo topically. I mean, you'd laugh at me if I said, here, take this lotion and it's going to remove your tattoo.
Right.
It's ridiculous. So you need to understand realistically that there's a lot of pigmentation that can be treated, and there's no cure for it. You need to do it every single day. But also people have to understand that certain pigmentary types of pigment may need to be addressed with some type of a device.
Right.
It would be dermal pigment. You still have to do topical. You still have to have the topical, address it topically.
Okay, that's important to know because some people think a one-all fix-all, oh, I'll just wait and I'll go get a laser treatment, I'll do this. But I always try to tell my guests, let's start working on it together. Let's get your skin used to being turned over. Let's numb those melanocytes. Let's do all of that. So that was really perfect because I think a lot of times people we want to take that magic bullet, the magic pill, and get it done. So that was a key point right there.
Well, here's what we can do. We can manage it. For example, there's no cure for acne. There's no cure for rosacea. There's no cure for discoloration. We can manage it. We can get it to the point in many cases where it looks like it's entirely resolved, but I can't change your genetics.
Right.
I can't change why it is somebody sits in a hot car and they pigment. How they go outside for 10 minutes and they pigment. I can't change your hormones. Now, when we get into the solution, there are things that we can do that we didn't used to be able to do that are just really tremendous.